Hey, what it is, everybody? This is Majin Khan, and in this video, I'm going to be discussing my top 5 favorite games of 2016. So 2016, we pretty much got a lot of hits. We got a lot of bangers that came out in 2016. We had Gears of War. We had some underdogs like Attack on Titan, which was, all right, but it was a good game for fans of the show. I thought NBA 2K16 was one of my favorite 2Ks that I've played in a while. We also had, I believe it was Battlefield 1. We had a lot of bangers that came out this year. So the way this video is going to work is I'm going to be judging these games based off my personal games. They're not going to be based off professional reviews. They're not going to be based off sales or anything like that. This is my personal list that I choose, the games that I spent the most time on, that I loved the most. So they're not going to be based off of sales and personal reviews. So with that being said, let's get into this. So coming in at number 5 is going to be Cry Primal. I enjoyed this game because I liked how you can capture predators and tame them and have them bend to your will and fight for you. And I liked the fact that it was a Far Cry game that didn't have to do anything with modern day guns. Everything you had to use was either clubs, bow and arrows, spears, not organic weapons, but very primitive weapons that you had to use. And I just like the fact that Ubisoft decided to make a Far Cry game that had to do with the caveman era. I thought that was really genius of them. Kind of step away from the whole gun spraying aspect of Far Cry, and I love this game, man. I thought it was a really good game, and I spent a lot of time playing it. I still play it to this day, and yeah, this game definitely has to go in my top 5. Hopefully Ubisoft can make another Far Cry that can differentiate from the predecessors of the Far Cry, and I think that would be really impressive. I'm pretty sure they're going to go another more supernatural route if they do make a Far Cry game. But for now, Far Cry Primal is my number 5 game of the year. So coming in at number 4 is Overwatch. And I do feel a little guilty for putting Overwatch at number 4 because I spent a lot of time playing Overwatch, and Overwatch was so much fun when you had friends to play with, man. This was hands down A1 game, and I know this game is going to get a lot of good reviews. I know I didn't watch the video game awards, but I'm pretty sure that Overwatch got a lot of credit. I mean, Overwatch, dude, was like the perfect competitive playing game, man, and especially when you had friends to play with. When you had friends to play with this game is just, you can play hours of this game, especially with now how they have the new game modes with the 1-on-1, the 3v3. Overwatch was a huge banger, man, and I'm glad I went and got this game because Blizzard, I mean, hey, they did it again, man. They made another banger, and Overwatch, hands down, has to go on my top list. I'm sorry it couldn't make the top 3, but it did come in 4, so I know I'm a little guilty of that, but yes, Overwatch. And coming in at number 3 is going to be Titanfall 2. This was my most anticipated game of 2016. Did it live up to my hype? Yes, it did. I enjoyed this game so much, man. I'm still playing the multiplayer. The progression system in the multiplayer is perfect. The campaign was something that the Titanfall franchise needed. That way players can get more invested into the Titanfall universe. And yes, man, Titanfall 2, for me anyway, it's one of my top shooters of the year. And I love this game, man. I love the story. I love the multiplayer. I love the fast-paced action in Titanfall. It's just, I love this game, man. One of the things that I can say that I didn't really like about this game only was maybe the story just could have been a little bit longer, but that's about it. That's really not a big deal for me. Other than that, man, Titanfall is definitely a game that I enjoyed. I'm still playing right now, and that's why Titanfall is number 3 on my list. And number 2 is going to be Final Fantasy 15. Now keep in mind, I have never in my life, in my gaming career, played a single Final Fantasy game. I've never owned a Final Fantasy game. I know nothing of Final Fantasy, but I decided to buy this game because I heard the hype and I decided to give it a try. And I also heard that Part 15 is a great entry for newcomers, and I love this game so far, man. This game has really rise to the top of my list, man. I love this game. I love the artwork. I think the game has really, really good play mechanics, and after reading some of the reviews on this game, it even made me want to get this game even more. So Final Fantasy is definitely a hit on my list, and I'm loving the story so far. Now, I don't know about, any of the lore on Final Fantasy. Again, I'm completely new, but I do love this game. I'm playing it a lot. It's great for me. It's a game that's really my style too. It's really one of my style type of gamings. I'm not a really big heavy first person shooter. I know I said in my previous title, Titanfall 2 was one of my first persons of the year. Yes, don't get me wrong, that is, but when it comes to games like this is my type of stuff right here. This is really up my alley right here. So Final Fantasy 15 is number 2 on my list. So for my honorable mention, it's gonna be Battlefield 1. Now, I know, don't rip my head off. Some of y'all are like, oh my god, the number 1 game of the year. Why is it an honorable mention on your list? Let me explain. Because I don't own Battlefield 1. I don't have a copy of the game, and I feel like if I was to put this on my list, I'd be a really big hypocrite. So I never played the campaign, and I never got too deep into the multiplayer. I have no doubt that Battlefield 1 is the best game of the year. I know it's the ultimate winner, but I don't own a copy of Battlefield 1, which is why I feel like if I were to put it on my list, I'd be lying to myself and I wouldn't be keeping it 100. So that's why I didn't put it on my top 5, but I did do it in an honorable mention for some fan service. But I am aware that Battlefield 1 is a great game. I enjoyed the game, and I'm still planning on buying it here pretty soon. And my number 1 overall game for 2016 is Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 3 is my treasure game of 2016. It was my most hyped game. It was my most enjoyed game. And this game just did it for me, man. I love difficult, hard games like this. Because let's be real, guys. A lot of these games that come out now, they're way too easy. You can breeze through them in a few hours, if not. And I don't like games like that. Nowadays, games are way too expensive just for you to run through them in like a few hours. I don't like that. Dark Souls 3 doesn't do that. It gives you the challenge. It makes you have to be careful. And Dark Souls 3, to me, it was a lot like Dark Souls 1. It really made you suffer in a way. It really made you hurt, because dying in Dark Souls breaks your heart. It breaks my heart when I die in Dark Souls. My stomach just curls up, man, whenever I die in Dark Souls. And a game that does that to you, that's challenge. That's challenge right there. Dark Souls 2, a lot of those bosses I actually ran through a couple of those bosses on the first try with ease. But Dark Souls 3, oh no, I couldn't do that. I think on Dark Souls 3, the bosses here, I only beat maybe 1 or 2 on the first try. But all the other ones, it took me 4, 5, maybe even 6 tries to learn how to beat some of these bosses. But yeah, man, Dark Souls 3 to me is my personal winner of 2016, and I love this game so much. I'm planning on playing this game on New Game Plus just because, it's Dark Souls 3. I have to. But that's going to do it for my list for 2016. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If you like my videos, please leave a like. Please subscribe where you can see more videos coming up in the future. Until then, I'm going to catch you guys later. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out. Y'all be safe.